it's not so much which films have had the biggest impact on me. That's not the way I approach this question. Films have a lifespan. They get dated. It's true. It's unfortunate and it's sad. Just like any attraction that you have for a significant other, someone that you have affections for, everything gets dated. What doesn't get dated is that much more general and broad inspiration. So I don't think of specifically films that have affected me and their particular stories. I think about the filmmakers and the kinds of works that they are drawn to do, and the manner with which that they work, how they approach their craft, their métier. Those are the things that really I return to, whether I'm curating a festival or any other job that I may find myself in the future. I find inspiration from these incredibly talented and visionary artists and how they've managed to balance their life and their craft. So who are some of these filmmakers who have had the biggest influence on me and how I look at movies, how I read movies, and what I look for in discovery? Immediately, people that come to mind are Stanley Kubrick and his expectation of being astonished. Astonishment. You know, he borrowed that phrase from Jean Cocteau, a French surrealist artist, who himself was asked, you know, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you're looking for when you're creating an art? He said astonishment. You know, Tarkovsky as well. Doesn't mean that I return to his films often, but the world of that he's created in his films is one that I find extraordinary, and the skill with which he created it and made it entirely his own, I also find really inspirational. Early Werner Herzog, I'm always just baffled the things that he was able to find and the courage with which he made these kinds of films that were so unique. These were narratives that were unknown until he attempted them. You know, and Louis Buñuel, sense of humor. It's important we never forget to laugh. We live in a world of so much conflict, so much tragedy and loss. It's bewildering sometimes, and to just be reminded you could still be aware of them, just still be able to laugh is important. That brings to mind, you know, Vonnegut too, someone who worked in that kind of satirical tone. You know, there's so many filmmakers whose attitudes that I've come to admire. But these are the three that I think I feel most comfortable to reflect on. You know, Terrence Malick as well is a filmmaker. His earlier work and his sensitivity to nature, sensitivity to how we relate to each other, is a reminder of humanity, and that we shouldn't stop looking. We shouldn't turn away our gaze, right? The artist mustn't turn away his gaze. He elevated the craft. Even if he was working within the Hollywood medium that was about consumerism, right? He still was able to work within that populist medium and elevate it. Like Kubrick, you know, Buñuel, even Tarkovsky. They all, in their unique ways, were able to elevate the craft and shape it within their vision. I think that's something that we all should take so much appreciation in and find our own inner confidence to impact the world through our own voice. You know, I'm a curator, but even in putting together a program, I understand it's not about me. It shouldn't be about you when you're putting together a lineup, when you're making decisions of which films will be included and excluded from a program that's going to have the eye of a city or the world. At the same time, whether you like it or not, it does take on a certain kind of reflection of the things that shaped you in your interests and what you are looking for and what you're asking from the world. Whether you like it or not, that's not something you can hide. So I don't want to shy away from that when I'm programming. I want to ask films when I'm looking at them, when I'm including them in a program. Ask the directors, ask these films to just elevate their craft.